you don't know where you stand, I would do a Google search for the world's smallest political quiz, and in just a few minutes you'll pretty much be able to find where you stand.
Nice.
Then you find out where you stand and then find some candidate or some cause that you can actually support and then get involved. If you don't do anything, nothing is going to change.
I
You
agree.
can't just pass the buck on to somebody else.
Previously on Young Politics. I really wanted to do a show like this for personal reasons. There's something about spending years in Hollywood that can put even the most grounded person out of touch with reality. I definitely gotta get to know them one by one.
I don't think that the government should have a say in personal drug use.
I mean, we're just like everybody else.
I think I was interested in politics, at least on a small scale, as a kid. You know, I think there is this sort of sense of, it doesn't affect me. My life's sort of like, yeah, life's a party. Guilty.
I've always heard change requires you come out of your comfort zone. Challenging myself to talk about government and social issues has been an uncomfortable growth process for me. It's been really hard to watch this footage back and see how some reflections of Hollywood have rubbed off on me.
Sierra, pretty girl swag, coming, 3, 2, 1.
As I head to meet our last advocate, I'm reflecting on Brooke, Marissa, and Scott, understanding them as people and relating to them as my fellow citizens. We all live in the same country, fighting for diverse causes, but with the same principle, letting our voice be heard. We are actually going to campaign at a church in West Covina, but yeah, Ivan, you'll meet him. Let's hear what he has to say, and let's get ready to pass out some flyers for David Miller. Hello, Ivan.
Hello.
Good to see you. You're campaigning today
Yes,
at
I'm
a church.
campaigning today. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I am.
What happened in our country this year that disturbed you?
Citizens United, the passing of the Citizens United, I was unhappy with that. I feel like there are too many special...
Marissa said the same thing.
The Citizens United case, it was just a really interesting thing to see.
I am not as excited with Citizens United. I don't think it's... Because right now, even foreign companies can involve themselves in American politics now, and I don't think that's a good idea.
So what would you consider yourself?
Well, I'm a
Moderate?
I would consider myself... Yeah, I would. Actually, I would consider myself a moderate Republican.
So when you say you're a moderate Republican, when I look at this flyer that you guys are handing out today, and the gentleman that you were actually campaigning for, David Miller, you're saying you don't agree with all of that.
I consider myself more moderate Republican.
Okay. And the biggest difference there?
Well, one actually, well, on that, I mean, he's a no on abortion. But I'm personally pro-choice.
Okay, you're personally pro-choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I also agree with them on the government spending, national debt, and bank bailouts. Religious liberty is also is a reference to the HSS mandate on the Obamacare Act.
What's David Miller's stance on marriage equality?
Actually, I don't think that's an issue we're talking about here, because
That's not an issue.
That's not an issue we're talking about in this constituency.
That's what bothers me. There's some, I feel like with politicians, there's some questions that they're ready to answer, and they're very poised and they're polished and they've been pricing the answer. And then when you ask something, it's like, oh, we're not talking about that. I mean, why wouldn't we be talking about that?
Politicians are supposed to talk to their constituents. Politicians are supposed to be able to, their number one goal as a politician is to get elected and represent the people they're representing. So a lot of the times when you say certain things, or when you bring up issues that are not relevant to the district, they're not going to be ready to answer.
So you send me this email and you tell me, please respect our initiative.
Oh no, I will.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like
Although it wasn't so much stress. I was wanted to make sure that because some of our volunteers are very young, and I was worried about some of our volunteers not being able to answer and not being able to handle your grueling tactics.
Well, thank you.
I was
right back at you. I love seeing teens being so involved. But you know, this is where I start feeling a little behind. How old are you, Mark?
17.
17, wow. How old are you? What's your name?
22, I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris. Hi, guys. I'm April,
Nice
22.
to meet you. Yep.
And myself, when I was 17 and 22, I was not doing this. So my hat goes out to you. What's his political passion? And he was telling me it's really based on your faith.
Yes, yeah, that's where it started from, is my faith. But it really boils down to the initial inception of our nation, right? And that was that individuals are made by God to be free and left alone to pursue their own dreams and their own visions for their life. Somewhere along the line, it flipped back over, and government thinks it's their job to take from one person and give to another to make life fair for everybody. So you've seen our national debt, you've seen our government spending under both parties has just ballooned, and now we're $16 trillion in debt, laying that on the heads of our kids, you know, so they're going to basically live, and your generation will have to pay 80% tax rate just to pay that money back.
Are there any circumstances where you think the government should come in and help?
The federal government is not designed to be charitable. I can't take your money and be charitable by giving it to somebody else.
Okay, perfect. And there you have it, David. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so much for coming out.
Thank you. No,
I appreciate
we're
it.
out. And
you
we're,
can help us hand out too if
I'm
you want.
going to help you hand out. Absolutely.
This is what we call the down ticket. Local politics.
Okay.
This is the stuff that matters.
I'd want to push people to get more involved in local politics versus the big presidential campaign. I mean, I know it's presidential.
It's much more flashy. It's much more popular.
It is. Hold on. There you have it, Ivan.
Yep.
We have done this. Till next time.
Sierra, pretty girl swag coming.